Heather. We were kindergarten. I can't start till my friends are quiet. You want to make sure that you're following the 4 B's and you're not being rude. So the last time we were together, we talked about if-then statements. Front square. And we talked about if you were running on the playground then, and you gave me a lot of different answers. You gave me answers like you could fall and get hurt. That's negative. That's not something you want to happen.
That's what happened to me
You
today.
said that you are running for exercise. That's a positive. That's a good thing for your body. You told me you could bump into a friend and they might get hurt. And that's not a good thing. That's negative. You told me you might be part of a game with friends. That's a good thing. That's positive. Then I asked you another question. If you break a school rule, then you folks gave me a lot of really good answers. You told me there might be a phone call home. You might have a lunch detention. You might have to stay after school for detention. You might have, or you might be suspended. So those things are, none of those things are a good thing. So those are all negative. So today, whenever I say positive, that means good things. And when I say negative, that means not good things. Okay? So today we're going to be working on those if-then statements again, but I'm going to need to wait until all of my friends are quiet. Now, I am recording this for my kiddos who are virtual, so I'm going to be standing here more often than I usually would. I don't like to do that.
Wow.
I know, right? It's pretty cool, huh? So I have a book that I want to share with you. Okay, let's have you do this. Let's have you sit on your bottom and turn the chair around. Okay. All right, friends, quiet voices, please. This story is called My Mouth is a Volcano. And in this story, there's a little boy, and he always says that his mouth is a volcano. So I want you to put a picture of a volcano inside your head, a real one. And I want a quiet hand for what you see when you put the picture of the volcano in your head. Raise a quiet hand and tell me what you see. Ivy, what do you see? Oh, sorry. Ivy, what do you see? Lava coming out of it. Ensley, what do you see?
I see lava. It's falling. It's going down.
Okay. So if this little boy says that his mouth is a volcano, is it really a volcano?
No.
No. But I think you'll be able to see why he believes that. So let me read this story to you. My name is Lewis. People say I erupt a lot. I don't think I do. I have a lot to say, and my words are very important to me. When other people talk, words just pop into my head. They slide down onto my tongue. My tummy starts to rumble, and then it starts to grumble. My words begin to wiggle, and then they do the jiggle. My tongue pushes all of my important words up against my teeth, and then I erupt. Hey guys, guess what? Words just explode out of my mouth. My mouth is a volcano. In class, my teacher says that when we want to say something, we're supposed to look at her, raise our hand, and wait until she calls on us. After I waited patiently for what seemed like 62 years, My important words slid down from my head onto my tongue. My tummy started to rumble, and then it started to grumble. My words began to wiggle, and then they did the jiggle. My tongue pushed all of my important words into my teeth, and my volcano erupted. Hey teacher, I think we should have recess all day. I'm hungry too. Can we go to lunch now? My teacher was less than pleased. She erupted right back at me. I know what you're saying is important to you, Lewis, but since it's not an emergency, you'll have to wait until I call on you. It was my volcano's fault. At daycare, we were sitting on the rug listening to Miss Polly read us a story about planting trees. All of a sudden, I thought about the time my grandpa and I planted 6 trees in his front yard. My important words slid down from my head and onto my tongue. My tummy started to rumble, and then it did the grumble. My words began to wiggle, and then they did the
Jiggle.
My very important words were pushed up against my teeth, and all of a sudden, my volcano erupted. Hey guys, once I planted zillions of trees with my grandpa. I got a timeout. It was my volcano's fault. Now I'm going to pause for just a second. Friends, raise your hand if Lewis really has a volcano. Raise your hand if you think his mouth is really a volcano. Raise your hand if you do not think that his mouth is a volcano. Okay, go ahead and put your hands down. What could we say to Lewis to help him? It doesn't sound like people appreciate what he's doing. What advice could we give to him? If you feel like saying words, then what do you think, Beth? Take a breath. I like that. Sometimes if we take a breath, it gives us a second to think, right? Gives us a little bit of a pause and we hold them inside. I like that answer. What do you think, Ivy?
Wait until your teacher's done talking.
Ooh, that's a really good one too. Wait until your teacher is done talking. Ariel, what do you think? Ooh, don't talk until your teacher's done telling you what to do. You folks are really good at advice. I like this. Well, let's find out if Lewis gets some advice about how to stop his volcano that's not real from erupting. During dinner, Mom and Dad were talking about paying the bills. Then I thought about my friend Bill. My friend Bill can blow a bubble inside a bubble when he chews 2 pieces of bubble gum.
Whoa.
Now that's really important. My important words about Bill slid down from my head and onto my tongue. My tummy began to rumble, and then it started to
Grumble.
My words began to wiggle, and then they did the
Jiggle.
My tongue pushed all of my very important words into my teeth, and my volcano erupted. Hey Mom, Bill can blow a bubble in a bubble with his gum. Raise your hand if you think that Bill's mom is unhappy. Now, is his volcano really erupting, or does he want to use a different word? If you talk when someone else talks, is it called erupting?
No.
I wonder what that word is that he's trying to say. Raise your hand if you think you know the word he's trying to say. Addie, what do you think?
Excuse me.
Nope, not excuse me. What do you think, Addie?
Sorry.
Nope. This is when he talks when other people talk. What do you think, Fisher?
Interrupted.
Interrupting? What? Let me say. Interrupt, erupt. Do those two words sound alike?
Yeah.
They sure do. And it sounds just like what Lewis is doing. Lewis is talking when someone else is talking. That's called interrupting. Well, let's see if we have the right word from our friend Fisher. Lewis, my mom said, you interrupted again. If somebody else is talking and you don't have an emergency, you have to wait for your turn. But Mom, my words, they slide down from my head and onto my tongue and my tummy begins to rum. There you go. You did it again, Lewis. Uh-oh. This doesn't seem like a very good thing for Lewis, does it?
No.
Sounds like Lewis probably should listen to your advice. I got sent to my room. She said I was rude. It was my volcano's fault.
Again. It was your fault.
Oh, it was, do you think it was Lewis's fault?
Yeah.
Sounds like Lewis needs to control himself a little.
No, cause.
All right, ready? The next day at school was my very important day. I'd been waiting for about 126 weeks to be the student star of my class. This was my special day. I got to share a poster with my class that had pictures of all of my favorite things on it. I stood up in front of my class and began to tell them about the time I went fishing. Halfway through my story, Richard started to tell everybody about when he went deep sea fishing in Mexico. Well, his story must have been better than mine because everybody started looking at him. He was stealing my important words. Richard, said my teacher, you just interrupted Lewis. Please wait until he has finished talking and then he might call on you. I couldn't believe how rude that was of Richard. He erupted me. That really made me angry. After talking about my fishing trip, I started to explain the x-ray of my broken arm. Just as I was getting to the good part, Courtney started to tell the class about when she broke her leg. Courtney, said my teacher, you just interrupted Lewis. Please wait until he has finished talking and then he might call on you.
Again.
I couldn't believe how rude that was of Courtney. She started talking right during my 15 minutes of fame. She ruined my important words. She almost stole my moment. When I got home, I told my mom about rude Richard and rude Courtney. Now you know how we feel when you interrupt us, said my mom. Never thought about that. I just get so excited and my words, they pop into my head and then they slide down onto my tongue. My tummy starts to rumble and then it starts to, my words begin to wiggle and then they do the
Jiggle.
Then my tongue pushes all of my important words up against my teeth and I erupt. Words just explode out of my mouth. My mouth is a volcano. Maybe Richard and Courtney have volcanoes in their mouths too, my mom replied. I never thought about that. Well, son, the next time your important words are pushed into your teeth by your tongue, bite down hard and don't let them out. Take a deep breath and push your words out through your nose. Then when it's your turn to talk, Take a deep breath in and breathe them back into your mouth. Will that work? I asked. Only if you make it work, said my mom. That night at dinner, my sister Sylvia was in the middle of one of her long girl stories.
I gave Buddy those.
What? Right now? You have a nosebleed right now? No? Okay. When my important words began to slide down from my head and my volcano started to do its thing. Just as my tongue started to push my words out through my teeth, I bit down really hard. Then I breathed my words out through my nose. As soon as my sister finished talking, I took a deep breath in, and back in went the words. I was amazed that they had just hung around outside my mouth and didn't float away. Then I told my story, and nobody got mad at me for erupting. After that, I never erupted again. Well, except for the time Bill's bubble gum got stuck in my hair. But that was a real emergency. All right, friends, I want you to answer my if-then statement.
I want to tell you something else.
Go to the restroom. If you interrupt, go to the restroom. You interrupt, then,
They might get in trouble. Though.
yeah, somebody might not like what you're doing, right? All right, so if you interrupt, then you might make someone upset. Let's talk about some other if-then statements. Take a look up here, friends. We'll see if my pen wants to work today. Okay. Listening. Put your hands down, ladies. If I am kind to my friends, then what could happen if you are kind to your friends? If I am kind to my friends, then what do you think, Ariel?
They'll be kind to you.
Ooh, they will be kind to you. Good.
What does the little word up there say?
If-then statements. Okay, so this is going to be treat people the way you want to be treated. If I am kind to my friends, then what do you think, Fisher?
Maybe the way you fire should
Ooh, then they will let you play with their toys. Good. Those are two really good answers. Okay, friends. Is they will be kind to you and they will let you play with their toys positive or negative? Raise a quiet hand. Raise a quiet hand. What do you think? What do you think, Miss Natalie? Are these positive or negative? They're positive. Sure, these are things that we want to happen. Good. Let's look at another one. All right. If there is an earthquake, then what could happen to things if there is an earthquake? What are some things that could happen to things if there is an earthquake? Josie, what do you think, hon? Go ahead. What do you think, Gage?
Stuff might destroy.
Yeah, stuff could get broken.
Stuff.
Like buildings could fall down.
Houses could. You could scream. Yeah. You could scream out.
I have some friends who are erupting right now. I have some friends who are erupting. So what is something else that could happen if there is an earthquake? Kindergarten friends, I want you to check your bodies. You should be sitting bottom on bottom, back against back. Feet on the floor if you are on a bench. What do you think, Beth?
Stuff might fall.
Stuff might fall. Good. All right, friends, our two answers here. Hi there.
Crutches, box.
Thank you. Stuff can get broken, stuff might fall. Raise a quiet hand, positive or negative? Raise a quiet hand to tell me if it is positive or negative. What do you think, Bo?
Negative.
Negative. These are not things we want to happen. All right, let's look at another one. Ooh, this is a good one. Gentlemen, please close your Chromebooks. Please close them. Thank you. If there is a lot of rain, then what could happen if there is a lot of rain? What do you think, Addie? If there is a lot of rain, then...
There might be a flood.
Ooh, good one.
What? What is it? There might be a flood.
Addie, is that positive or negative?
Positive.
What do you think? Do you think having a flood is good or bad? Bad. So is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Good. Okay. If there is a lot of rain, then what do you think, Ariel?
You can take your house.
Please close your Chromebook. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You can stay in your house.
You can stay in your, oh yeah, if there's a lot of rain, you might have to stay in your house.
What if it gets flooded? What about there was the water waiting at the bus stop? What? That would be fun. What?
Okay, so if there's a flood, I'm seeing two things that are negative. Can you think of something positive that might happen if there's a lot of rain? What is something positive that might happen if there's a lot of rain? What do you think?
You have to flood.
That's not a positive, that's a negative. What's something positive, Gage?
You can dance in the rain.
You could dance in the rain.
Oh yeah! That would be fun.
That's a good one.
That would be fun.
Okay, let's check one more. Don't open it again, please. Okay, next one. All right. Listening. If there is no school in the summer, then
You said
okay, you could go to the beach.
I went to the beach before. Beach.
All right. What's something else that you could do in the summer if there was no school, Bo?
You can go to Rainbow Lodge. I'm going to Rainbow Lodge. That's because I went there before and it's really fun. There's like a big bucket and like there's big water slides in a river.
Okay, so you could go to a water park. If there's no school in the summer, then what can you do?
You could go to Universal Studios.
Okay, so you could go on vacation.
You could go to Universal Studios. You guys can.
Okay, friends, quiet hands, please. Go to the beach, go to a water park, go on vacation. Positive or negative? What do you think, Gage?
Positive.
Positive. Who would not want to do these things? These are all super fun things to do.
Yeah.
All right, now I have another activity that I want to show you. I'm going to pretend that this tube of toothpaste is full of all of the unkind things that I might say or I might do. So let's see what happens. Okay, so here are the unkind words that I said to the person who tried to get in front of me in line. There's the unkind push that I gave to the person on the playground who tried to take the ball from me. There's the unkind words that I said to my neighbor while they were passing a paper to me. There's the unkind words that I said to the person who asked me if they could borrow a pencil.
Is that
Okay.
toothpaste?
Now,
Yeah.
look at my tube. My tube is very flat. I feel really bad about the things that I said and the things that I did. And I want to take them all back. So I need all of those things to fit back into my toothpaste tube. I think I'm going to need some help. So I'm going to be looking for a quiet friend who can put the toothpaste back in the tube for me. Because if I say and do unkind things,
see the chair.
then I need to take them back. So I need somebody who can put all of my unkind words and unkind actions back into the
How do we
tube.
do that?
All right, Natalie, go ahead. Friends, let's see if Natalie can get all of my unkind words and unkind actions back into that toothpaste tube. Looks good so far, Natalie. Looks like you're making progress. How's it going? Is that tube getting fatter? Yeah? Okay, keep going. Ooh. Can you get all of my unkind words and unkind actions back in there?
Oh, it's been real big now.
Can you make it look brand new again?
No.
Oh, you're doing.
Are we gonna do this?
I don't know. How's it working out? Is it all going back in? Okay.
Hey, it kind of looks like a ghost on a
Still looks the
surfboard.
same. Look, friends, it still looks the same.
It looks like a puzzle.
All right, friends, listen. If you say or do unkind things, can you take them back? No. Natalie tried really, really hard to put that toothpaste back in the tube and it didn't work. What can you do if you do or say something unkind? Patty,
You say sorry.
you can say you're sorry. If you do something unkind, then apologize. Raise a quiet hand if you can tell me what a good apology sounds like. Go ahead. What does a good apology sound like, Gage?
Sorry.
That's the beginning of a good apology. What comes next? Fisher, what comes next?
Sorry I've been mean.
Oh, so you say you're sorry and you say what you did. I like that. So if you do something or say something unkind, then apologize with a really good apology. Okay, one more thing to show you before you go. Hands down. This one is a science if-then. We can do if-then statements for coding with our codable fuzzes. We can do if-then statements for making choices. We can have if-then statements for lots and lots of things. So this one is an if-then statement that has to do with science. So what I have is a model of a volcano. I add vinegar to baking soda, and they're both things that you find in your kitchen. Then it will release carbon dioxide bubbles.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go.
No.
See those carbon dioxide bubbles?
It exploded.
If I add vinegar to baking soda, then it releases carbon dioxide bubbles.
Where's the baking soda go?
That's a really good question. It dissolves,
It melted.
and if I stir this, the baking soda that's left on the bottom starts to bubble. Okay? That was a good question. It dissolves in the vinegar. Okay. If-then statements can be used for coding, making decisions. If I behave this way, then what will happen? If I behave this way, what will happen? Or we can do it with science. If I mix baking soda with vinegar, then carbon dioxide bubbles are released. Right?